Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Good morning, third grade. My name is Mrs. Nixon. I am so excited to be here with you this Thursday morning to help support you to become amazing thinkers, readers, and writers. You know what? I was looking over, so Geronimo Stilton, have you checked out one of his books before? He's a mouse. He's super funny and silly, but you know what? One of my favorite things about this, I'm going to tell you a little secret. When I was younger, I didn't always enjoy reading books. But you know what? Books like this that had lots of silly pictures, and I love that they've got silly words and they're colorful, definitely helped me get more interested. And then I fell in love with reading, and now look, I'm teaching reading. That's amazing, right? So I just want to encourage you every day to be practicing a little bit. Go on to Sora and see if you can find, maybe you can find a Geronimo Stilton book that you would be interested in reading. All right, let's get started this morning. We're going to go through, we're going to look at our long O words, we're going to look at some compound words, and we're going to finish off today with some multiple meaning words. Are you ready to get started? Okay, we're going to start with our high frequency words. Now, high frequency words are those words you come across often when you're reading. Now, in third grade, it's important that not only are we able to read them, but we need to be able to write them and use them correctly in our sentences. Okay, so let's go through and let's read this week's. Ready? Okay. Clean, cold, come, could, day, cut, did, different, do, and does. Okay, so our two that we're going to work on today are did, D-I-D, do you see it? Did, and different. Whew. Now this one's a little bit long, so if you need to write it down, but let's do it. D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-T. Different. Nicely done. Okay, let's use our two words in a sentence today. We've got two of them. Oh, you guys thought that math was only during math time. Guess what? I have some math questions for you. So how about this one? How you solve that problem? How you solve that problem? Let's look at our second one. Can you think of a solution? All right. Which one do you think? How different you solve that problem? That doesn't make sense. How about how did you solve that problem? Good job. And if you solved it, can you think of a different solution? Try it out today. All right, nicely done, third grade. Let's go over and we're going to start practicing some long O spelling patterns, and we're going to blend some words with the long O. First, though, I want to make sure, can you hear that long O? I brought my boat card to remind me that the long O says O, like in the middle of the word vote, or at the end of the word snow. So the O sound can actually be found at the beginning, the middle, or the end of any word. And we're going to look at a lot of different spellings today because in third grade it's important that we're starting to be able to spell our words correctly. Okay, let's go through and let's look at some of them. We have O just by itself, like in most, and let's look at this one. Total, total, good job. We have OA, like in soap, and then look down here. Do you see the OA? So we would say boast, boast. Hopefully we don't boast too often about ourselves. That's kind of like bragging a little bit, right? All right, and then O blank E, like in note. See the O blank E? Do you see the O blank E? All right, so let's read it. Globe, globe. A globe is a map that's in a circle, like the world. It's in a globe. Okay, then we have OW, like at the end of show. And then let's look here. Ooh, do you see the OW? Yep. Growth. Growth. Did you have a growth spurt this last year? Nicely done. Okay, and then OE, like dough, and this is oboe. Oboe. Do you know what an oboe is? It's actually a musical instrument. It's a reed instrument, kind of like a clarinet. It makes a beautiful sound. You might look it up. Google it today, because I know you guys are online. All right. And then, ooh, this is some of my favorite stuff. OUGH. We talked about dough. And look, I see the word dough. This is even a compound word. And I see the word nut. Donut. Do you like donuts? I sure do. I always like to do them on Fridays, too. All right. Oh, you know what I left off of here, you guys? Were my compound words. Hang on just a second. I'm going to grab them real quick because we can do them just like that. No big deal. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to go through and I'm going to put them up here and you're going to help me read them. Okay, what's our first word right here? We have bear and foot. Put them together and we have barefoot. That means we have nothing on our feet, right? All right, and then I have home, and I've got made, and if I put that together, it's something that's made at home. We don't buy it from the store already done, it's homemade. And then how about skate and board? So you know skating, like you've got little wheels on your shoe, and then a board is something that's nice and flat, but we put it together. You guys know what a skateboard is, right? It's a board with some wheels on the bottom. All right, and then, ooh, this is a tricky one. So this one actually has 3 words that go together. It says up to date. And when we want our work to be up to date, we actually put some little hyphens in here to keep them all together. So we know that these words stay together. We don't really smoosh them over each other because that would just look like a big giant mess. But up to date can have these little hyphens in between. And let's do one last one. How about, ooh, this is a good one. I love this time. Week, like we're in the middle of our week, but what if we had the word end? We know that that's at the end. So what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the weekend. That would be like Saturdays and Sundays, right? All right, those are some of my favorite days. Good job. Okay, 3rd grade, let's move this out of our way for just a moment and look at a couple of things. We're going to practice those long O words, and then we're going to practice some compound words. So help me out. It says up here in the box, we're looking for the long O sounds, and we're going to write it under the correct spelling pattern that we can find. If it doesn't have the long O, we're going to mark it with an X. So help me read some of these first. What do we have? We have, ooh, I see it with a OA, so we've got soak. Where would we put that on our chart? That's right, we'd put it right here, S-O-A-K, soak. That's when we get super wet. How about program? Program, do you see that? What makes the long O in program? That's right, just the little O all by itself. So we would write it over here, program. Nicely done. How about this next one? Stormy, stormy. All right, that has really that R-controlled vowel sound there. Okay, we're gonna hang on to that one for just a second. Kind of put a little pin in it. And we're running out of some time, and I wanna do a couple of others. Okay, let's move down here real quick. Let's practice some of those compound words. Now, here, we have a whole bunch of words that we can choose from and put them together to make our own compound words. So let's read some of our choices. Read them with me. Snow, light, sun, rise, fall, storm, thunder, and rain. Okay, now some of them we can use more than one time, and that's okay. Do you see two words that you could put together and make them into a compound word? How about snow? What could we put with snow? Could we say snow sun? No, that doesn't make any sense. What about snowstorm? Nicely done. Let's put snowstorm. How many of you have ever seen a snowstorm? Probably not very many of us if you live down here in the valley, because we don't get cold enough for a snowstorm. How about one more? How about what happens in the morning? Do we have a sunrise? Have you ever seen the sunrise? Let's write that. That's when the sun is coming up in the morning. Excellent job. Okay, so here's my last little bit that I want us to practice. Let's finish off with our multiple meaning words. We've been talking about them all week long. Remember, multiple meaning words can also be called homographs. That just simply means that the words are spelled the same, but they have a different meaning. We're really looking to see what's in the context that's going to help me decide what that word means. So here we have fall, fly, and spring. If I were to just say those words to you, you might not know exactly what I'm talking about, because fly means like I'm flying. I could be soaring through the sky, but it could also be, you know, those little tiny pesky bugs that are all over the place? How do I know? I have to read the context in order to figure that out. Okay, so let's look at, because I've got a couple of sentences right here, and they're using the word bark. Now, bark has a couple of different meanings, right? So let's look. I have bark that can be talking about the outer covering on a tree. So the tree bark, it's that bumpy, rough piece on the outside. It protects all the wood. But I also have that bark can be talking about the noise a dog makes. See the little dog bark, woof, woof. Makes lots of little noises, right? Okay. So let's look at our two sentences here, and you help me figure out which one belongs. The tree has brown bark. Oh, that was an easy one because it talked about a tree, right? And then, whoops, I lost my picture. And then my bottom one is, my dog will bark at the cat. You got it, so that I'm talking about a noise. Nicely done, third grade. All right, so I just want to say, thank you so much for hanging out with me today as you're getting ready for school and practicing and thinking about all of those different things to get you set and ready. And I want you to remember, you are responsible for your learning success. So ask the questions, listen, and share your ideas. Together, we can do so much more. You guys have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow on PBS. Bye-bye.
Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for